and welcome to Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and this is a production of Red Apples Media. We're broadcasting out of 790 AM Real Country out of Leesburg, Florida. And if you're watching us on Link Sumter Television, you're doing so on Comcast Channel 13, Bright House 498, and CenturyLink Prism Channel 83. So today I've invited Bob Tweedie, the Economic Director of Tavares, and Carrie Petroski, got your name right?
It is.
Who is the manager for the Tavares Pavilion. Welcome, guys, and thank you for being a part of the show.
So happy to be here.
Thanks for having us, Kris. It's a pleasure.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Look at that, right? I mean, this is got to be the highlight experience of your life. So.
Very much so.
Okay. Well, Bob, let's get right into it and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do for the city of Tavares.
So I'm the Economic Development Director for the city of Tavares. My job is focused on enhancing the economic well-being of the city, and that's through growing incomes, jobs, and the tax base for the city is what we're really focused on in the Economic Development Department. We kind of do that in three ways. There's sort of three silos that I work under in my department, and business retention, recruitment, and expansion is the main focus in economic development traditionally and historically. I also have a couple other roles that I fill in that capacity that enhance the core mission of the department, and that is oversight of our seaplane base and marina, which is, of course, our signature. We're America's seaplane city.
Sure.
So our seaplane base and marina are a vital component of what we've done and what we are doing in Tavares. So my responsibility to oversee that operation. We have an aviation manager, Matt Elia, who works for me and oversees the direct day-to-day operations down there at Wooten Park, and we're responsible for the overall operation and oversight of the entire waterfront venue there, the special events, and the downtown CRA, Community Redevelopment Agency, which is focused on efforts to enhance and grow the downtown business climate.
Wow, so it sounds like you have a lot of free time on your hands.
Yeah, lots and lots of free time, yeah.
But that's interesting. It's basically everything you see when you step into downtown Tavares. The seaplane, everything there. So that's got to be quite the undertaking.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's
It
a great
is.
town. I go there as often as I possibly can. So I do like Tavares, and I'm happy to be able to share this information with our listeners. So what's coming up in Tavares that you would like our listeners to be aware of? Any new developments, things of that
Sure.
nature?
Yeah, so I mean, there's just so much going on in Tavares. It's hard to keep up with it sometimes. But right now, we're one of the major things we're undertaking, really in kind of the wrap-up stage downtown, is our downtown Ruby Street redevelopment project, and that really primarily is focused on stormwater control. Actually, is what it was developed as, a stormwater project to enhance the stormwater issues down in the downtown. We had some flooding and things like that going on. Old stormwater system down in our downtown area that's gradually been replaced in segments, and Ruby Street being the most major of those segments. Needed to be improved, needed to be completely replaced, in fact. There were two issues. One is just the old drainage structures and things like that. And the other was the fact that all of the stormwater runoff was running out into our lake, right? Our most valuable natural resource.
Right.
And really, from our perspective, our most valuable economic resource, too, from what we're doing with all of our waterfront-centered events and things in development. So we really wanted to do our part to clean up the lake, take care of some stormwater problems, treat the stormwater with the creation of a really innovative process, and then put it all back together again, not just functional, but in an aesthetically pleasing manner. So
Right.
the storm treatment pond is not just a functioning storm treatment pond, it's actually an ecological park. And it not only does its job to clean up that stormwater, it's really neat. There's these 4 chambers that take the water in various stages and upload the nutrients into these these floating bee mats, which are flowers floating on the water that
I saw
clean up.
those.
Yeah, it cleans up all the the big problem is the phosphates and the nitrates. That's what's polluting the lake. And so the floating bee mats are there to help clean that up, and it goes through a process, these 4 chambers. And what we've done is we've created walkways and bridges and a park setting so people can go through there. And not only does it benefit the community in terms of the cleanup, but it has a park setting, and people can go and learn. There'll be interpretive stations, so they can learn about the process and how it works. And then the street itself, we're not just putting it back the way it was with asphalt pavement and just basic landscape. We're enhancing it. Red brick pavers have been put in, upgraded landscaping.
Yep.
The power lines are going to be buried. So we're really excited about that project and what it's going to bring to the downtown and the aesthetic value. And I believe it's really going to have a strong and positive effect on the economic climate down there. It's gonna be a lot more attractive for business and for customers coming down to the entertainment district.
Right, because Tavares hosts, I should say, a lot of different events that draws people from all across, well, I would almost say the country, but definitely all across the state.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, we host, or put on over 25 events each year in the downtown and in Wooten Park.
Wow.
From, Sunnyland Antique Boat Show to the Seaplane of Palooza, 4th of July, all sorts of different events, some of which the city hosts and some of which are outside organizations. They bring in a tremendous number of people. Yeah, We've had people come from literally all corners of the world.
Just being the seaplane city.
Right.
Constantly having seaplanes landing.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, they even offer tours, correct?
Correct, yeah. So we've got Jones Brothers Air and Seaplane Adventures based right down there at the seaplane base at Wooten Park. And they do sightseeing flights, they do flight training. They bring in people from all over for flight training. They're one of the premier seaplane flight instruction companies in the country, and they have people come from all over to learn how to fly seaplanes. And they also offer charter, so actual transportation. They got that distinction a couple of years ago, and it's quite a task for a company to make that jump from offering just tours to actually transporting people. There's a whole FAA certification process they have to go through that's quite lengthy and expensive, and they got that. And so now they can transport. They can do flights to the Bahamas, anywhere. So
is that right?
Yeah. And they have quite a number of packages, tour packages, and fly and stay packages. And one of their most popular things they're doing now is they have a seaplane bar hop. So you actually can buy a flight on here and jump around from lake to lake to some of these waterfront eateries and pubs and enjoy a day out in a seaplane hopping from place to place. So
that's
some
pretty
neat
cool.
things going on. They really are doing a wonderful job, and we couldn't be America's Seaplane City without a commercial seaplane tour and charter operator, and they're a wonderful partner and doing a great job.
Yeah, and again, that's just one of the other things that's drawing people, I believe, to the city of Tavares. You've got the train again,
right?
And that was, we lost that for a little while. I don't know, a couple of months, maybe a year or so. How's the train going? Everything?
Yeah,
solid
train's
with
been.
that?
Yes.
Is it going to Orlando? Is that still the plan? Or
they have some long-term goals to hope to be able to do that. We had the Orange Blossom Cannonball steam train operation that was going for a number of years. Kind of kicked things off, and they did well. And that ended a little over a year ago or so. There was a period of about 6 months without any train service actually running. We went and did a request for proposals to try to lure someone in because we had built, of course, the historic replica of the original train station downtown, and certainly wanted trains to be a vital part of what we're doing in the downtown. It's a big part of the history of the city. So we were able to really find a premier train operator, Orlando and Northwest Railway, and a little different direction, going from the early 1900s era steam train to more of the 1940s, 50s retro sort of Amtrak restored vehicles, beautiful air-conditioned coaches with dining cars and all that sort of thing. They've been doing well. They launched their service, of course, back around the first of the year, just before the first of the year, with the Warner Brothers licensed Polar Express train, which you've probably heard about. It's quite popular.
Certainly have.
50,000 riders took advantage of that
50,000.
and rode that, between December 15th and the end of January. So it really was quite, and looking at some of the reports they generated, you talked about people coming from all over the country, primarily in the Southeast, but we saw zip codes from Hawaii, Alaska, the Northeast, the Midwest, that rode that train, and so giving our city exposure to people all over the country certainly was very valuable, and it was a great economic stimulus to have that number of people in our downtown, anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 a night. While they were running, they'd run 2 to 3 trains an evening, and 600 people getting on and off at a time. Certainly created a lot of activity in our downtown.
Well, even if anything, as the festivities, like everybody came in their pajamas. You felt that holiday spirit the entire time.
That's great. Well, guys, we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, I would like to start talking about the Pavilion and see how that has affected the city of Tavares, and just talk about some of your amenities. Sounds
great. Sounds great. Can't wait.
All right. We'll be back in a few moments. Hello and welcome back to Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and this is a production of Red Apples Media. In the first segment, we were speaking with Bob Tweedie, the Economic Development Director for the City of Tavares, about what's happening in Tavares. And we highlighted a couple of the big items. And now I'd like to speak with Carrie about the Pavilion itself, because it's really become almost a landmark just over the last couple of years, at least to me. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what exactly is the Pavilion to those listeners who may not know what it is?
So I oversee the operations of the venue. So our job consists of looking over the maintenance of the building, the grounds, as well as any type of events and facilitating the events that we have in-house. So on a daily basis, we get to see something brand new, from a celebration of life to a wedding to a birthday to an anniversary. You just never know what you're going to get. So any type of birthdays, anniversaries, anybody out there can book us. Pavilion actually sits over Lake Dora, so it looks like a floating serenity, more or less.
Now, can you have events on the pier?
Of course you can.
Or is it just inside of the Pavilion?
Yes, very much so. So you can be able to rent the full facility as well as the pier. If it's a full rental, you can have cocktail tables out on the pier complimentary. If you do want to have seating types of tables, it'll be an additional fee, but we will set all of those up. We have 28 round tables, 15 banquet, 15 cocktail tables. So, however, we're very versatile. So just depending on the look and feel that you want your event to feel like, we can be able to make that happen. We work with you. We'll create floor plans prior to the event, do a full walkthrough with you, so we know if you have any special transportation you're going to be providing. If bride and groom are going to leave by a seaplane, they're going to have anybody come in and do fireworks for the evening, as we have that option.
Oh, really?
Very much so. We have 2 fireworks companies that we work with, and since we are over the water, they can be able to do them right on the dock, or they can be able to pull out a barge and do them over the center of the glass, more or less,
right.
If you're up in the other upper level.
Right. I've been there several times for different events and such, and it really is a beautiful facility. Upstairs, downstairs, you've got a perfect view of the lake. The interior is nice. But now, let me ask you something, because if there is somebody interested out there, first of all, where can they get this information?
Sure. Tavares.org, you can be able to go on there. The Pavilion has its own segment of the website, so it'll have all the information about booking and contacting us. Otherwise, TavaresPavilion.com
Okay.
is going to be our new up-and-coming website. We're about to get that launched. So things in the making, where we're hoping to be able to have photographers, videographers, all different types of resources, so you can be able to see all the functions and be able to put it yourself in their shoes.
Okay.
So, but inside there, the craftsmanship, if anything, to take with you, it would be the staircases. They were built in Wisconsin, taken down in 3 pieces. Crafters came back, rebuilt them. So there's just so
wow.
many amazing features. We have an open house every second Monday of the month. So come out, see us between 5 and 7. Our first tour is at 5:15. Second tour is at 6 o'clock. We have some tour extraordinaires that would love to take anybody through. We have so much to see. I couldn't be able to tell you that much in 13 minutes compared to what
Sure.
we can be able to do if we took you around.
It is well worth coming out for the tour.
Yeah, I imagine
It's
so.
amazing.
Because it's pretty from the outside, but
It's
you gotta be able
spectacular
to
on
see
the
it
inside.
inside. It really is.
You have to
Now,
see it.
do you ever run into an issue where you might have 2 weddings same day, and one's on the pier, one's on the inside? You know,
We are very
because that would
adamant.
kind of, I would imagine, people would try to avoid.
They'd be very upset with us. No, we've never
Yeah.
had that happen. We
Okay.
are very tenacious on wanting to make sure that we have everything in our event software system. So you would be working with me or Amy, and both of us would walk you through the process. We do your contract. So compared to some larger event venues, you wouldn't be passed around from a sales manager to a catering manager. You would be seeing your same faces. I have an amazing staff. If you check our Facebook, Wedding Wire, The Knot, all of our reviews, very, very proud of them. They've just take so much pride in what they do, and it's real. What the service level that we give, it's not something that you can train or put in somebody. They have to be in it for the right reasons.
Right.
And time again, it's just nice when I get to print those things out and read them aloud to them, because that's what becomes your job, becomes rewarding. So.
Sure. Now you're talking about your staff. Does the Pavilion have a staff for full catering, or do you provide food, or can you help arrange that?
Sure, we have 5
Depending
selected
on the
caterers.
event, of course. Okay.
Sure, yep.
Okay.
So we have 5 selected caterers, and they have went through a thorough bid with the city, so you can be able to reach out to them. They'll give you all different price points depending on what you're looking to have.
Okay.
So if you want a buffet compared to a plated meal, plated's going to have a little bit more of a price tag to it, just because you're paying for the service level and having more service staff on site. But yeah, it's a variety of different price points. If you were to have a business meeting during the week, Monday through Thursday, and it's going to be in the mornings, you can be able to bring in your own box lunches. It's just any type of social event in the evening events. Our caterers are an extension of our team, so they come in the same time our staff does. The building becomes pristine. We're ready to rock and roll. Do the event, and then afterwards they stay and help with all the cleanup. So we're very proud to call them our partners. We see a lot of the same faces there, so we know how to make sure that our service level is exceptional.
Okay, well that's great. I mean, it really, really does sound great. And like I said, I've been to a couple of events there, and I think it's a fantastic facility. I really, really do.
It's really like none other.
It's not.
Truly is the Pavilion on the lake.
It
When you
is.
say you're on the lake, you really are. You feel like you're on a cruise ship when you're in there.
Very much
It's
so.
Yeah.
Incredible view. And
Yeah,
beautiful
and I'm
venue.
sure the
Just-
events are fun themselves, because it's such a unique environment to be a part of something.
And no detail has been missed. My director, Tamara Rogers, she did all the interior design. She was a project manager on the job. And the paintings, I mean, you don't really need a lot of decor when you come in there. You put a little bit of floral arrangements as centerpieces, and you're good to go. As you walk around, you'll see tons of antique furnishings all over the state of Florida. We refinish them in-house. Restore, finish, and beeswax. Never knew I would know anything about until I took this position. But so happy that I did, because you put more pride into what you're taking care of, and it shows. My staff, we're always looking for, if there's something that the building doesn't look exceptional, we don't want it to ever look like it had wear and tear. And it'll be 4 years, August 31st, that will be open from 2014, that we've had over 500 events, and it's
Wow.
been any type of event that you can come up with. Some of them just, you never know. Bus full of kids from Gainesville having a sorority party to an 50th anniversary party where the staff is actually acting like hosts and we're pretending we're a restaurant. So the surprise, she had no idea that it was going to be for her. So we pretended we were a valet. So it's just, we get to create memories, and it couldn't be a better place to be at, especially the view. Can't complain coming to work every day.
No. Now, Bob, I got to ask.
Sure.
How has the pavilion impacted the city of Tavares?
The pavilion, I think, is one of the greatest economic catalysts we've had in the downtown on an ongoing and steady basis. The pavilion being there, it's really made Tavares a destination. We've got 3 hotels now in the downtown that are supported really primarily because the pavilion's there, I believe. I think that's what really got them going and has helped to sustain them because of the number of people coming in every weekend. And now your weddings are expanding now beyond weekends. People are coming in, we're having weekday weddings. And it's bringing in, a number of people and just giving us exposure. It is, it's a crown jewel, and it's been just an incredible catalyst and economic engine, really, to help the growth in our downtown and our community. So we are really, really excited about it and happy to have it.
People from everywhere, too. I think that's the most exciting part, is finding out the traveling that our guests and friends and family have come from. We've had, right when I first started, a couple from Tennessee. They drove down overnight. They left at 2 a.m. just to come see it, and it was sight unseen yet. I mean, it wasn't completely finished and furnished, but they booked with us. We just had somebody from New Orleans just drive through. I've had destination weddings from all over, people that just look at our virtual tour, which is on our website. Check it out. You could be able to go upstairs, downstairs, in the breakout rooms, meeting rooms, bridal suite. And you really can get a sense of what the space feels like. So it's helped us with anybody that's not in the local area, that they can be able to look and say, hey, what was that? Or what do I see there? And we can kind of give them some guidance on what to expect the day of.
Okay. So again, when can people go on a tour to get a good idea of this?
Sure. Our tours are Monday through Friday between the hours of 9:30 and 3:30. Just give us a call. A lot of times we do group tours, so we'd be happy to take you through. Takes about 35 minutes, but we'll give you the grandiose tour, all the bells and whistles. And if during the weekday doesn't work, we do them every second Monday of the month between the hours of 5 and 7. First tour is at 5:15, second tour is at 6. But if you are going to come during the week, just give us a call so we can make sure we put you on our schedule, as it is by appointment only.
Sure. Okay. Well, Bob, Carrie, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank y'all very much for coming out, sharing this information with me and the listeners, and I'd love to have you back sometime.
We'd love to come back. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, Kris.
Very welcome. So that does it for Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin. We'll see you next time.